What do you know about Phineas Gage?
Phineas Gage.
A psychologist.
What you know about Phineas Gage?
Hey, Mom.
That he worked with the brain, and there's neurons in our brain.
Who?
Phineas Gage.
Neurologist. That's a neurologist.
Phineas Gage.
Phineas Gage had an iron rod shot through his brain and survived.
What do you know about the brain?
Isn't it crazy that we're thinking about what we know about the brain with our brains?
Feel like
It controls everything in your body.
The brain consists of lobes that control emotions, memory, body functions, and more.
Alright, the frontal lobe is associated with reasoning, planning, parts of speech, movement, emotions, and problem solving.
the parietal lobe associated with movement, orientation, recognition, perception of stimuli. The occipital lobe is associated with the visual processing. Temporal lobe associated with perception and recognition of auditory stimuli, memory, and speech. The cerebellum is associated with regulation and coordination of movement, posture, and balance.
Brainstem is responsible for basic vital life functions such as breathing, heartbeat, and blood pressure.
Just because a woman agrees to have her toe stepped on for one dance doesn't mean she's in love with you, James. I suppose you're out there thinking that she's taken by yourself? Well, I'm taking her out tonight. I'll ask her for you. You liar! I have to know that she's visiting her parents tonight. And how do you know that, may I ask? Because she can only see me tomorrow night. I don't believe it. Well, you can ask her yourself tonight. After it ain't last night.
One more like that, James! James, I'll go after this Dorothy myself.
This is Phineas Gage.
Come on now. Get up there and you start cutting down that brush. Benjamin, you get over here and start leveling off this timber. Now hop to it. Come on, you lot. What are you looking at? Got a lot of yards to make today. Time's money. Set in there, Billy.
Gage was a railroad foreman. A foreman has to be level-headed to be able to make quick, precise decisions so no one gets hurt. Gage was very social and friendly and got along well with others.
Before Gage had his incident, he was once a polite, caring, energetic, and focused person. He had a combination of intelligence and athletic ability that made him perfect for the position of clearing rock paths for incoming railroads.
Everything ready, Billy? Yep. Good. Give her lots of sun, Billy boy. Lots of sun. Okay. Give her lots of sun. I need him, Jeremy! Get back here both at once! As if you want to be working here, come on.
Working on the railroad requires you to blow up rocks to make room for the train and the railroad.
James! James? Yeah. Good.
He's still alive.
I'm okay. Come on, help me to my fingers.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm okay. I'm sorry.
Come on, lads. Let's get him to the village.
The accident. Gage had filled a hole in the rock with gunning powder and didn't cover the hole with sand. When he hit the tampering iron rod against the gunpowder, A spark struck, causing the rod to shoot with great force out of the rock and through Gage's skull. The rod shot through his left cheek, fracturing the temporal section of the sphenoid bone. It entered the brain, passing through the left lobe of the cerebrum. It made the exit toward the center of the frontal lobe, fracturing the coronal and sagittal sutures, also affected the left eye.
Phineas Gage started to burst out profanity and gained a selfish personality after the incident. His character eventually cost him his job with the railroad contractors. Gage became erratic and unreliable, which then had trouble forming and executing plans. He didn't have any social grace and lied about his accomplishments.
Come on, you can make it, man. Here, take this. It'll help you feel better.
Drinking the water is like the placebo effect. The placebo effect is like when the body thinks that taking something is helping it, but it's really not. So Phineas Gage's body thinks the water is something to ease the pain, causing his body to send out more pain endorphins, which played a key part in Phineas Gage's survival. If his body didn't react the way it did, Phineas Gage would have died from the accident one way or another.
Hurry, doctor. It's bad. Coming, damn it.
The young Edward Williams, a former railroad man himself, was the first doctor summoned.
Can you walk? Yes. Let us through. The man's hurt. Tapping iron went right through his head.
The frontal lobe became disconnected from the rest of his brain.
Come on, Phineas. Let us take you up to bed. Oh, no. Leave me alone. I just want to stay outside. Phineas, you'll be better inside. I'm staying right here!
It's Doc Williams.
Who?
Doc Williams.
Doc Williams. He is working up for you, Doctor. Oh, my gosh.
Gage's words were prophetic. His historic case sparked widespread curiosity into how physical changes in the brain affect behavior.
God, Gage. I don't know. Okay, enough of this nonsense, Phineas. Let's get you off to bed right now. Come on, lift him up. Oh, no. Easy.
Samuel. Oh, back to work, eh, boys?
Come on, in the house. Come on. Come on. Easy.
I think I've got the last piece of bones. Want to check, see if there's anything else down there. My right hand is touching my left hand, clear through his head.
You know what I like, Doctor? I like to have my old dog up here.
Come here, Biff. Here, boy. Come on.
Keep your head still.
Oh, Billy. Billy. Oh, wait.
Keep your head still.
Oh, I have to see the man, eh? Hey.
Easy. Lie back. Let's see what we can do about your dog, Phineas.
Go get Biff, Billy. Go get Biff, eh? Biff died. Come on, Biff, now!
Lie back. Lie back.
I want to now. I'm going to sleep.
His frontal lobe was affected because he didn't have reasoning skills and his movement was no longer the same. He became very emotional. His cerebellum was affected because his balance and coordination was not the same as it was before.
His ability to communicate with other human beings decreased. but he developed a special affinity for animals. But for the men Gage used to work with, he had become a man out of control. The balance between his emotions and his intellectual faculties destroyed.
Hey, wait up, man! Hey, don't leave without your foreman, hey! Oh!
Oh. We got a new foreman.
What?
Who?
I'm the foreman now.
You? Benjamin. Oh.
Oh, you can't take care of yourself, Benjamin, let alone a whole group of men, hey!
I'm still in charge. Hey?
We hope you'll be back, Phineas. But not today.
Hey, how can you take my job? Phineas Gage! I'm a better man than you, any day! The best foreman!
We'll come by later, Phineas.
I'm the best! I'm the best! No! Not that way! We're still at the cutting! The work's over there, and the explosion!
Explosion? Oh. This is not the man that was Gage.
He's like an animal now.
An animal's emotions in a man's body.
After the accident, his behaviors were careless attitudes to risk-taking and law-abiding, diminished or increased sociability, unusual sexual habits, diminished concentration, span, and spontaneity, increased guilelessness, unimpaired IQ.
Phineas Gage was born on July 9th, 1823. The accident was on September 13th, 1848, and he survived for 12 years after the accident and died on May 21st, 1860, at 36 years old from epilepsy.
Concussions in sports. Physical effects may include headaches, difficulty speaking, blurry eyesight, or sensitivity to light, trouble hearing, loss of energy, changing sense of taste or smell, dizziness, or trouble with balance. Cognitive effects may include difficulty concentrating, trouble with attention, forgetfulness, difficulty making decisions, repeating things. Behavioral effects may include becoming angry or frustrated easily, or acting without thinking.
A traumatic brain injury can affect the emotional state, cause difficulty speaking, trouble with concentrating, and acting without attention, which is controlled by the frontal lobe. Also, a brain injury can cause trouble with balance, loss of energy, forgetfulness, which the parietal lobe controls. The occipital lobe can cause loss of sight if it is damaged, and for short-term and long-term memory, it is controlled by the temporal lobe.